Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Let's dive right in, shall we? I'm going to show you the two books that I'm going to read. We're going to read the Enchanters series. So far the series is only 2 books, but I hear there's one more coming out. I grabbed these from my library and that's what I'm showing you here. We have Tinkerbell and Enchanter's Tale, and the one before that was based off of Cinderella's Fairy Godmother. I wanted to read both of them. I love a good Disney retelling or fairy tale retelling, and these books happen to take place right before the movies actually take place. So let's jump on in, read these together, and I'll share my thoughts with you. I finished it. I know there's probably not a ton of clips on me reading this book. It's not a huge book, even in stature. It's like this cute, adorable size, right? Let me show you in comparison. Here's a paperback. Like, I don't know, what is it about small books? They're adorable. I finished it last night. This book is only a little over 300 pages, and I think it's just me personally. I'm in a season where digital reads are easier. I found every time I picked up a book, my kids saw me with a book in the hand, they were like, oh, by the way, I need to tell you 10,000 things. Or like, I was trying to read in between. We've had a busier season. Without getting too personal, I've had quite a few doctor's appointments and labs and tests and things going on, and we're just trying to figure some stuff out. I've been trying to put it, because it is smaller, I try to take it out with me and get some reading done that way, but I don't know what it is about the physical book. Like, I think now that I've had an e-reader, digital reader, I have a Kobo in my hand, like, it is so easy to just press the button, close it down, and then press it again and you'll be right there. There's no, I don't know. I do love a physical book. I do love them. I think just in the busier seasons, digital reading is easier. But anyways, that's a whole soapbox on that. I just wanted to say all of that because I didn't want how long this took me to finish reading to be a reflection of this book, because I did enjoy this book. I enjoy this story. I love that in this book we are following Fairy Godmother and kind of learning how we're learning how she becomes Fairy Godmother. And in the Disney Cinderella, we see Fairy Godmother and she's older and kind of forgetful, and you're like just this sweet old grandma kind of figure. And in this book, we actually get to meet her. Her name is Renee, and we meet her when she is younger, and we get to see so much more about her life and her journey to becoming a fairy, because she didn't start that way. And so the whole first part of the book, I would say the majority of the book, only the last couple of chapters ties in the Cinderella story. There are little hints of how she becomes who she becomes throughout the book, but the whole first part of the book is a whole different story. It's not the Cinderella story, it is the story of Fairy Godmother and who she is before we get to see her in the Cinderella. And it was really, I think Jen Calonita writes this one and the next one that I'm going to read, and I just thought it was so well done. I love that they have these frayed edges. I know maybe people are like, I'm over it. I love them. But this is a library book, so I don't get to keep it on my shelves, but I love this. But much like the book, and the writing inside is beautiful too. I think it's so great that we get to see a different side of Fairy Godmother, and we get to see her love interest, her as a person, what shaped her, what formed her, what helps her believe what she believes. We get to see a little bit of the, like, why a pumpkin? And it's just so, like, it's not a cute explanation. Cute is not the right word, but the explanation is just, it's great. And I love that she touched on it and she wove it into the story as it's a big part of the story about vegetables and gourds and things. And it was just like, when you're reading it, I think it's those little tidbits that tie you back to the main movie that keep you engaged and remembering who she will become while still letting you stay in that setting of who she is now, while in this book, right? Who she was then. And yeah, I'm excited for this series. I can't wait to dive into the Tinkerbell one. I have another appointment today, but I don't know how long. Again, I never know how long the waits are there. And then we have a little bit of a busier day, but I'm hoping I get some reading in today because I'm really excited to start that book. I also think that my daughter, who is a middle school, wanted to read them, and so she always asks, can you read it first and then let me know if it's appropriate in these kind of books. When she sees me reading a book, if my books would be appropriate for her, let me read them first and then let her know if they're good. Anyways, I think it is appropriate for her. There's nothing too spicy. There is a kiss. There is a marriage betrothal. They're being told they have to marry this person. And but that's it. And so this, I think, would be great for that age too. I don't know what it's marketed as. Oh, here on the side it says teen for my library. So I'm finished with this one. I'm gonna let her read it. Hopefully, I'm sure she'll get through it faster than I can, because there are holds. The Tinkerbell one is a fairly new release, and I want to get them back to the library in case somebody else wants to read them. Okay, let's hopefully get to Tinkerbell at some point today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is when you're here. It is morning for us. It is almost 9 o'clock, and I want to finish my book. In fact, so I have gotten not quite halfway through this weekend. I've moved on to Tinkerbell and Enchanter's Tale. We're reading both of these in here. So far, this one, I think I'm just about to start part 2, which is page 91, and the book is just under 300 pages, 273 pages, and it's a pretty easy read. It's once you get into it, it's easy to be into it, which is, I think the majority of this I read was yesterday. I had only gone through one chapter, and then I sat down yesterday and we were watching football and just kind of relaxing after church, and I was able to get through a bunch. So far, Tinkerbell is still on Never Island, or Neverland Island. But some weird things are starting to happen, and she's got this yearning for the mainland, and she's not supposed to go there. I don't think this is supposed to be happening before the Lost Boys, and how Tinkerbell runs with a different crowd. And it does say that different things are happening on the island. She is friends with Tiger Lily, which we know from the original movie, and then she ventures off to London in search of answers. Okay, that's where I wasn't sure if it was going to be a spoiler type thing if I tell you that she rushes off to the mainland, even though she is not supposed to, because Tinker Fairies are not supposed to be there. And so she kind of feels like maybe some of these things that are happening are her fault. We have just met the captain. I don't know if that's going to end up being Captain Hook. Right now, I think we just have a last name for him, and she has just met him. And yeah, we're just starting to get into where we're gonna maybe discover what is happening there. We've met Peter, but as a baby. So there's no like relationship there. We don't know how he gets to the island. We don't know that part. I don't know if it goes into that in this book, but we'll find out. I want to, like I said, get a good chunk of reading done today, but first we have to do some adulting things. So I wanted to give you an update of where we are at in the book, and then do some adult things, get homeschool going. I'm about to go out right now and get my youngest some outside time while I work out, and then dive into this. It's Monday, so dive into this Monday morning. It has been a day. It's been days. We've timer set. It was originally set for 30 minutes, but 5 minutes have already gone by for me to sit down. I am in the middle of mom duties, homeschooling, all that stuff, but we're taking, like I said, 25-minute break in between. I have eggs on the stove that I'm supposed to be watching, but I am so determined. I'm so close to finishing this, and we need to get to that point. So far, it has taken a little bit of a turn. Let's go over and check on the eggs. Eggs were done. I have a feeling we're not going to get to the reading in this 25 minutes. In case you're wondering, just egg whites, an egg, and some fermented curtido for gut health. That's what we're going to have at almost 11:30. Just now eating breakfast. Life has been lifing hard lately. Anyways, let's get back to the book. I don't know. Tinkerbell, what Sometimes this girl, okay, so let me, in all honesty, in the original Peter Pan, I didn't like Tink very much. I don't know. She was kind of mean. I didn't feel like she gave Wendy a fair chance. Granted, it's a cartoon, probably seeing way more into this, but Tink wasn't my favorite in there. Then Disney started coming out and making their own Tinkerbell movies, and I kind of liked her then when she was in her own element and she was like with her other fairies. She was still mischievous, she still was like pushing the boundaries and things, but she was still, I felt like she was more lovable. In this book, we have gotten so far, we're towards the end here, and these aren't long books. I'm just telling you that life has been lifing, and that's why it's been taking me so long to get through them. But I don't know, we have a love type interest, a crush type interest. She's not quite sure. She's contemplating if it's love. We have figured out how the boys and Hook have gotten to Neverland. I just wish that wasn't, I don't know. I just wish Tink, my daughter and I were talking about it because she likes Peter Pan and she wants to read this book after me. So she was like, you read it and let me know if it's appropriate for me. And I was telling her, I don't know. It's taken a turn. I don't feel it's inappropriate for her, but it's taken a turn. And I was like, I just wish Tinkerbell could find herself her own little nice fairy guy. And, like she could just find a fairy for herself, not keep falling for humans. So I don't want to tell you which human, in case you haven't seen or heard. I've watched a couple and read some of the reviews, and some of the reviews, that is the complaint that I've seen. So I don't know, but I'm this far into it and I want to finish it, so we're gonna finish it. I did like the story. I read a while back ago the story of the main fairy. What's the fairy queen's name? I wanted to call her the fairy mom, but she's not the mom, she's the queen. But the backstory of her and the fairy from Winter, the Winter King fairy, I'm saying it all wrong. That story, I loved that story. This one, I'm not loving it as much as I want to, but we're gonna finish it because first we're gonna finish this, then we're gonna finish the reading. I gotta get back to mom duties too, so let's get it done sometime today. We finished it. I did end up reading the last bits today, and then I went and did more mom things and rinsed off finally. We didn't have a hair washing day, so it was just tied back. But you don't care about any of that stuff. Let me tell you about this book. It took me a little bit. I had to sit and kind of think on it a little bit. As soon as I closed the book, my daughter was like, well, what did you think? And I was like, I'm not quite sure. The last few chapters are twists and turns that people who you think might be people know, and you're kind of guessing because this is pre-Peter Pan, the original Peter Pan movie. So just like Cinderella was the fairy godmother was pre-Cinderella, this is pre-Peter Pan. I don't know if they want it to align with the Tinkerbell other movies that they have out, or if it's just kind of a mix in there. But this timeline would fall before the original Peter Pan movie. And so in here we are learning how Tink and Peter meet, how they get to the Neverland Island. We learn how Captain Hook becomes Captain Hook. And there's a couple other little tidbits in there. A lot of the information ends up being revealed in the last few chapters. The last few chapters are pretty exciting. It's the action sequence. There still is that weird where I'm like, oh, Tink, can't you find someone your own species? But that's maybe just a personal thing where I'm like, okay. And so it's pretty interesting. I liked it. All in all, I don't know. I'm somewhere between a 3.5, 4 stars for this. I can't quite decide yet. I'm gonna give it a little bit and see if it stays with me, or if I just read it and I'm like, nah, moving on, because then that'll probably lean me more towards the 3.5. The epilogue is where we tie in the original Peter Pan movie to the book, completely. I think it makes that full circle. So all in all, I think it's pretty interesting to dive in, learn more about Tink. This is more the Tink of Peter Pan movie than the Tinkerbell in her Tinkerbell movies. Like I said, I tend to like that Tinkerbell, that version better. But that, again, could just be a personal thing. So anyways, 2 of the Enchanter's Tales done. I don't know. I imagine they may do a couple more, but I don't know if they made an announcement for that yet. So we'll wait and see. Until then, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you taking your time out and spending it here with me.